one. Opposition's clash in this debate is very small. The main crux of LO and DLO is that people have the capacity to change and that, we should give those second chances to them. Note how this doesn't really play into account into any of the material that my PM and DPM has said, because our stance was incredibly clear from the get-go. The reason, sorry, my laptop turned off. The reason why this debate is about the blanket narrative and the narrative along is because second chances happen on both sides of the house, ladies and gentlemen. Please, take note of that. The main question is how we arrive to that conclusion. So I think the main issue here is, okay, what is this best path of forgiveness? Opposition posits that, everyone will be forgiven everyone will be more forgiven, everyone's going to be deserving of this rehabilitation, and things are just going to be happier when forgiveness is just more common. That is a claim that the opposition tried to say earlier, but I feel like that was incredibly asserted. Sure, you could give examples like earlier that, Finland, it has a high rehabilitation program and countries will be they're overall happier. Isn't everyone happy that way? But it's completely possible that these countries actually are, it lacks a lot of actual logical steps on how do you actually get there. What do we exactly mean by this? Because it's completely possible that these countries that have high rehabilitation is because they were already happy and okay in the get-go and not because of the rehabilitation rates. Other historical factors like wars not happening in these countries actually caused them to act that way. Other historical factors like the communities are just small and just built structurally to make it easier for people to be forgiven in those areas, but they are also already rich prior to that, and they kind of don't need to do all these bad things that leads them to really terrible crimes, making rehabilitation rates much more easier in those countries. But in a reality where we live in right now, where that can't happen in countries like America, any other third world country, it's not likely to actually happen. These countries are war-ridden, have a lot of polarization between each other, and these communities are just too big and not easy to actually sustain these ideas of full-on second chances for everyone, with everyone being fully satisfied and also those people to actually work and to actually improve themselves. Also, opposition is right that people can change and deserve second chances, but they misrepresent what we are actually saying, because this debate is not about second chances or not, but about how and where we should approach them. This debate is about the lens of looking at forgiveness and second chances, as what Charam said in his POI, acting speaks louder than words. And on Gov's side, yes, people can still get second chances, but they have to work for it. Absent the blanket narrative, Madam Chair, note that at best side, opposition tries to cast some doubt and defend narrow case lines. They have been quite dismissive to our positive and negative material. They have to nuance this a bit more to the narrative and policy of it. There's also a tension in DLO's case. First, they say that people are good and deserve it, but they also say that these people, absent this narrative, will go rage and defy and do bad things. So, what is it, right? Pick a frame and characterization. That's so inconsistent, and as what my PM already preempted, it's as if they are as good as you claim they are, that they would be willing to go through the actions and hardships only if they were actually truly good. But if they are bad and malevolent, well, OMG, we protect society from these bad people, guys, when people assume and give them second chances. So I think we looked at it in two different perspectives that actually allowed us to truly understand this debate. Firstly, externally, how people are treated throughout the externalities given by society, i.e. how the victims are treated, how criminals feel, and all that. And internally, how people feel and how they actually get to the path of forgiveness or being prevalent, and how they feel and get to that path of forgiveness in that way. So forgiveness and also improvement. So where do we cater to the best interest of the three main stakeholders? Firstly, the victim. They don't want any more external pressures, any more left and stress from these victims, from all these criminals getting forgiven and all that stuff. Secondly, criminals, it's not just forgiveness, guys, and giving them the satisfaction, happiness, but also just genuine improvement of the character, genuine improvement of the person to not actually be an asshole anymore. Because I think that's a bigger change that we actually need, and not just them doing the fake happiness that, I'm a good person anymore. And then thirdly, society in itself, guys, protect from actors that don't actually want to improve. Because guys, we live in an imperfect world. You can't just be saying out loud that everyone here is going to be a good guy once we give them that easy path to forgiveness, because not always true, guys. I think that fudge. I'm not gonna say that anymore. But a murderer is still likely to be a bad person. In after doing a lot of murder, a person that robs billions of dollars that has dictated the country is likely to still be a dictator or be a still genuine asshole right after that. And the path of forgiveness should be much more harder for him if he actually wants this. So what is their exact response to this idea of rehabilitation? There was zero response. And just for you to have a chance to save your case, please, I want you to give me a POI. I saw our hand raised. 4-6, please. A blanket narrative? I didn't understand POI. Can you say it again? What? No. Sorry, we are against the blanket narrative because, okay, let's try to simplify things to easier cases. With the blanket narrative, people are now just having an easy path, and these are more likely for cases of fake forgiveness, and not only that, for people that are bad people to be forgiven, yet they are still going to continue these bad things. But when we don't have this, forgiveness is going to be harder. It's still going to be there at the end of the day, but it's going to be much more harder. And that path to forgiveness actually gives them a better improvement of character. That path to forgiveness actually leads people to start improving themselves as a character, start being a better person, because they need methods and ways to actually change people's opinions, because it's no longer the common narrative. No, it's now a completely different narrative from the norm, which makes them have to earn that respect, earn that kindness, and if they've done something so bad that it's not worth anymore, well then that is completely fair and valid to the people, and actually protects them from the harms that he may do if he were to have a good marketing team to change all of those framings. Never have I been proud to oppose. Propose.
Thank you very much.